Hello and thanks for watching the first video of the year. Now this isn't going to be the most exciting video you'll watch this year, but it could be a really useful one for you, especially if you're someone who's putting photographs from your camera onto your laptop or computer, because this is an issue that comes up time and time again on my workshops and lessons. So the first thing to point out is if you are putting photographs on your laptop and computer, at some point you will have to move them. Because at some point you're going to run out of space on that laptop. So my first bit of advice is to totally miss out that step and negate that issue and that future problem by starting off to put your photographs on an external hard drive from the start. So let me share with you how I go about this. Now the other thing before this point is that I actually transfer my photos from my camera after every shoot I do. So when I say a shoot, so it could be a morning walk or it could be a weekend away. Whatever point that themed shoot finishes is the point that I transfer the photographs when I get back home. And I transfer those photos by putting the memory card in a card reader, selecting them and dragging and dropping them onto the external hard drive in this file structure that I'll share with you now. So this is getting even sexier, isn't it, really, talking about file structures? But again, it will serve you in the long run if you don't have to copy it exactly, but take on these ideas and thoughts. So within the external hard drive, what I have is, and the other thing actually I should probably point out is that my approach to external hard drives is very much like your approach might be to bank statements or accounts. So I see them like folders, you know. So every year I start a new external hard drive, and because I'm more experienced with that and have experience with it, I know the right sort of size external hard drive I'll need for the year ahead. Now, if you don't have that experience, don't worry. If you get one that's too big or too small, don't worry. As you go on, you'll start to get a feel for it and it will become better with time. But the key thing is once I get to the end of the year, even if I've got 300, 400 gigabytes of space left, for me it's more important to draw the line under the year and have this labelled up as 2021 and put on a shelf than it is to use up every gigabyte of space that's on that hard drive. So for me, it's very much that sort of organised filing system, so I can come back and pull it off the shelf if I need to, plug it in from 2021, and that's where my files are. And so that's my approach really. Now, within that external hard drive, I have a file structure, which is, because I shoot video and photos, I shoot RAW format photos rather than JPEG. So within this external hard drive, I'll have RAW files, say this is a new one, RAW files 2022 and video 2022. Now let's stick with the RAW files 2022. Open that, and then we'll have it broken down, folders again, January, February, March, April, etc, etc. And then within January, let's say this morning I went out a walk and saw an otter, so within January then I'll have another folder which says Wharf Otter AM, and it doesn't matter exactly what it is, but the key thing is to have something unique and instantly recognisable, and that's where all those photos from the session go in there. Now, I don't do, some people talk about editing in camera and doing the editing before you import it and stuff like that. That's okay if you've got time to do that, but I think for me, it's because I do quite a lot of shooting, it's more important to get those photos off the camera and stored somewhere in an organised, easy to follow way than anything else. So that's how I tend to work. So once they're on there, that's it. They're in that structure. And what it also means is, because I find it I don't really have that time to sort of work through things systematically. I might be coming back to those photos and editing them in 3, 6, 12 months time, and then coming back and going through them at that point. So that's the key thing with having that really unique, easy to suddenly know what you're looking for in there. Now, the only other thing that I really need to share with you that's important is, while external hard drives are great and useful and help you with your storage, they do have a habit of failing from time to time, and it's not a really common thing, but it's not an uncommon thing either, and it's always better to be safer than sorry. So as well as my external hard drive, once I've imported those photos, I'll straight away back them up onto a portable external hard drive. So this is a sort of a desktop external hard drive, and this is a portable external hard drive. And then I may even, especially if it's something important, back up onto a USB stick as well. So then you've got 3 places that you can store them. Now, while we're talking about that, I would say that SSDs, which is a solid state drive, rather than a HD, which is a hard drive we're talking about. Don't worry, I'm not going to go too geeky on you, but they're much more efficient, and they are the superior way of backing stuff up. But they're a lot more expensive as well. So if you can go with an SSD drive, go with it. Otherwise, use a external hard drive, which is what I use because I have such a high volume of photos. And while we're on that, the next question that I often get asked is, why not the cloud? Why aren't you using the cloud for this? Now, the thing to remember about the cloud is, even though it's this called the cloud, it's still a computer stored somewhere, which is as vulnerable as well, probably less vulnerable, because I'm drinking cups of tea over my external hard drive, and it can be clumsy as well. But there's still hardware. So if there's a fire in the warehouse where that cloud server is, that's it, your photos are gone. So it's still, even though it's called the cloud, it's still as vulnerable as other places as well. But the main reason, and the key reason really, is that say I went out shooting at Bempton Cliffs for a day or something, it's not inconceivable that I'd take around 3,000 to 4,000 photos. And the amount of time, and because, again, like I say, I shoot in RAW format, so they're much bigger files, by the time that had made it up to the cloud would be it would just take a phenomenal amount of time to upload. So the cloud can be really good, especially for your end products, your end photos that you want to keep safe. But in terms of just those unprocessed, unedited photos, it's not a really realistic kind of solution in terms of storage and backing up as well. So hopefully you found that really interesting. Hopefully that you can take away something from that process that will help you keep organised, stop future headaches, and more importantly, allow you to spend more time going out and taking photographs than organising them. So I hope you found that useful. I'll be back with some more videos later in the year. I've got some nice nature sort of videos that I want to try and get edited and out and share with you soon, and I'm really excited about. So thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.